No.
Gave him
They gave you the medicine.
they gave him the block husband spot. And
That's our legal director. It happened yesterday in the office. But he says that the staff immediately called 911.
he was a contract.
And we didn't realize that
Anyway,
it's
they
just the first
well,
9
exactly.
So we could have put that in the board packet, but nobody told me.
Has an impact.
Can also.
Yeah.
Right.
So they have to watch him for.
That it was in the banner, because I'm like the majority.
And Kate,
do not know.
Kate,
And then try to figure out what's wrong.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were talking.
Yeah, no, I was just listening. Anyway.
The actual MOU on it said it's just the first 9 pages.
Is that okay?
Yes.
What'd you say?
The MOU part is just the first 9 pages. We copied the whole thing that was sent us.
Yeah, saying,
That would be this, wouldn't it?
like the
Did you
mayor
hear that,
Yes.
Joyce?
Yeah.
kind of like avoided it, and Allison kind of avoided it, and then I'm thinking the guy from the banner just messaged him, because he told me.
He's not even here yet. He has to go.
No, but 1, 2, 3. So you have a quorum, but Emily, I didn't ask her about
probably
Edie. I usually have to email or text her. I don't. Yeah, because they RSVP'd Emily, and she usually tells me.
So anyway, I think, you know.
Jarvis had said he was coming, he texted and said he needed to leave her. And I'm sorry.
Are you on?
And we're trying to get the staff. Can you all hear me? No?
Can you hear Joyce? Do we have
Talk louder. No, I'm kidding.
no? Do we have to hold down the button though? With the
It's
little
supposed
3?
to automatically come on.
Okay,
Oh, you don't have to do anything?
Yeah.
No.
it's red.
Mine is blue. We're on a switcheroo. All right, now, that better? We're doing a switcheroo on the mics. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order.
Hope it was a good break. Yeah.
Knock, knock, knock. You can hear me now. Okay. So pursuant to the provisions of 2.68.030, the Metropolitan Code of Laws, please take notice that decisions of the National Public Library Board may be appealed to the Chancery Court of Davidson County for review under common law writ of certiorari. Any appeal must be filed within 60 days after entry of a final decision by the board. Any persons or other entity considering an appeal should consult with an attorney to ensure that time and procedural requirements are met. And then pursuant to TCA 84412, time is reserved at the beginning of the library board meetings for which there is an actionable item on the agenda for public comment germane to items on the agenda. Up to 5 people will be allowed up to 3 minutes each to speak. Speakers must register within 1/2 hour prior to the beginning of the meeting by signing their name on a physical sign-up sheet available at the entrance and identifying any items on which they intend to comment. And has there anybody signed up? Who has a sheet?
Yeah. She said no.
No one has signed up. And my only comments, Rosalind is not here. Okay, let's wait then until she comes to get her question answered. Remember the question that she had about the institute. I just want to say thank you to everybody who came out to spell freedom. The audience was packed. And so I thought it was a wonderful program. We had such good representation for the board. So thank you. And I'm just continued to be amazed by the publicity we get. And I know that's not by accident. So, you know, oh, there you are. I didn't see you. I know that's not by accident, so thank you. Because we had all of the article on on Elliot Robinson, and then the haircuts at the library. You know, that was amazing. That's sort of at the heart of who the library is, I think. for everybody and the NPL voices. So just thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know. And you're right to thank you, team. Nobody does this alone. We all link together. Okay, so are there any corrections or addition to the February 18th minutes? Hearing none, could I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
And second, all in favor of approving the minutes from our February 18th meeting, say aye.
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 All opposed. Motion carried unanimously. Terry.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I have some things I thought I know I sent my director's report on Friday, but I think there's just some things that I'd really like to highlight. The first one is super excited that Finance and the Mayor's Office have recommended that $2.5 million for collections, and this is our second allocation. So we already did receive $2 million in December. So if that passes council, that will give us $4.5 million for this year. I know. So I like I've always said, I don't know how Noelle does it. She's able to do that with the budget and still have increases in the circulation of our collection. So kudos to her, and hopefully we'll just keep emphasizing the need for this funding. Tomorrow morning, Susan and I have our budget presentation to the finance department, and she's like, "Do we? Oh, good thing you're back."
I've been on vacation.
I know, that's what I said. Good thing you're back. So looking forward to that, and just being able to, put emphasis on the things that we've requested for this coming FY26 budget. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the volunteer appreciation. This is the first time since 2019, because of the pandemic, that we're actually going back and having a volunteer appreciation. Nina here at the main library has done an amazing job, and she's calling it Piece by Piece, You Make a Difference. So I talked to Joyce, and she said, so that you all could attend before the board meeting, that we'll have the board meeting here at Main next month, because that starts downstairs in the conference center at 11:30. The other thing I'm really excited about, and I can announce, is that Mayor O'Connell decided to have the State of Metro here at the library. I know.
Always the best when it's at the library.
So last year he needed to have the big WeGo bus, so he just didn't really know where we could accommodate that. So excited that on May 1st at 10 a.m. We'll have our the State of Metro here in the Grand Reading Room. The other thing I wanted to mention is that on Friday, Linda and Sarita, we are kicking off the bookmobile, and so that is at 9 o'clock at the charter school, Rocket Ship Charter School. So that's exciting. And the other thing I just wanted to mention is that we have been having the artist evaluation for the courtyard. We really can't move forward with the courtyard because the actual art design affects the entire renovation of the courtyard. So we have had multiple meetings.
That's supposed to be a part of my update.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my gosh, Jerry.
Oh my gosh, I'm so done. Well, see, then you could actually have the rest. Anyways, it's really exciting.
You're so excited she's going to see it.
So Susan will tell you more in her report. All right, I think that's it, because the other things are in my report.
Okay. Jarvis,
Can we have a street address for the
that was,
rocket
ship.
ship?
yes, where's Rocket Ship?
I did write it down.
Oh, good, we have something in writing.
Yeah, I don't have any more.
Yay, Linda.
Thank you. Oh, here you go.
Oh, okay, this has a, great,
Plus Park Boulevard.
Plus Park Boulevard.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. We're pushing because two of you have to leave.
Date changed, I couldn't.
Let's know.
Oh,
No,
you're
no,
okay.
No. Is that it? So, Sean?
Yes.
a couple things. This weekend is the Carnegie Society Book Club on Sunday for for our Carnegie Society members. So hope to see some of you there. Picnic is coming up next month, and tickets just went on sale yesterday. If you are interested and available, would love to have you join us for that. The other big thing I just want to say is we are in the midst of our Thankathon, which is just an opportunity for us to say thank you to our council members. Last year we had over 700 patrons write notes that we then distributed to all the council members. We're doing that again, and so far we've had great response to the digital, so people can online write a digital note, and then we'll print it out on a postcard. So we are well on track to meeting and probably surpassing the notes that we will give to council members. So would love for you to participate in that.
Well, and I was just going to share that if by any chance you want to take 41 postcards, one for each council member and one for the mayor, and write a note for each council member and have it turned back into the library by March 30th, you are welcome to do so. And the foundation will help you get, and I know because I tried it out to see if it would work.
Handwriting is, I think.
Yeah.
And all you have to say is thank you so much. I mean, it's.
And if you're interested, let me know, because before you leave today, I can send you with that pack of 41 or
Yes.
more. So then,
I like her handwriting.
great.
I'd rather do that.
So
And-
do you mail them, or you deliver the postcards?
So we go to the council meeting,
Council
and
office.
each council member gets a packet of thank yous.
And you can also get a list of all the council members and their home branch. So if you wanted to say, thank you so much, Brenda Gadd, for everything you do for Richland, you can do it.
You can also do it online in a link.
Yes,
I'm just saying
so
if
the
you needed
digital
help.
version is here, if you want to do it digitally.
Like digital, yes.
So for those that are done digitally, if it's not specific to a council member, we will make sure then that that gets copied several times for multiple council members. But it is nice. Councilmember Coopin must have received our email saying it's time for the Thankathon, and he wrote back specifically and just said, this was my favorite time of the year. I'm so glad you all are doing that again. So it does mean a lot to the council members, and so it is at our branches as well. We have the postcards at all the branches. There's official postcards, or there's little just hearts on construction paper that the little kids can write notes on as well. And would love for you to consider how you want to participate. We also have had a few people request packets because they want to do a thank you writing little part, like to a book club. So they're gonna. So we're even able to send those out if people want
I'm not sure what
to
you're saying.
coordinate. So before the meeting ends, I will get some packets if you would like to take some thank you cards with you. We can do
We
that.
talk about doing thank you cards to the council and the mayor. Do you want them digitally, or do you want to do hand thank you? Hand. We old school.
I know, me too.
You know, so to say.
Okay, how many people want to do the hand thank yous? Rosalind says she wants
I'm
hand.
doing them, I'm already started.
You already have
I
yours,
like
right?
Yeah, I have mine, I have
One,
mine.
2, 3.
Great. Thank you.
I am
My
a
cards at home.
home.
So I have to.
No, I provide.
I mean, I can pick them,
And
we
then we'll
can get them.
sort them. Yeah. Great. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you. So is our only agenda item that needs voting is item number 8?
Yes.
Okay. So, thank you, Sean, thank you so much. So we have Anna to present the Lipscomb proposal.
Good afternoon. You hear me? Okay. Well, thank you for the opportunity to present this MOU to the board today. This project, Lipscomb approached us to offer a partnership as part of their doctoral program in education department. They assign certain like small groups of doctorate students every year to conduct research projects as part of their dissertation. And they're approaching community partners who are in education space to offer that partnership. And we were happy to be offered a free research and evaluation opportunity because those cost really high. And we try to do, for NASA, we try to do maybe every 3 to 5 years, some portion of our work needs to be evaluated so that we can see what's the long-term impact and then make kind of more data-driven decisions. So this was a great opportunity for our Youth in Action initiative. Does anyone know about Youth in Action? You have heard me probably talk about that. I've left little cards you can scan and read more, but this is really youth-led initiative that we started in 2019 by hiring a sophomore in high school through Opportunity Now. And we just tasked her to put together like an authentic model of youth leadership, what that looks like, how we can engage middle schoolers in real leadership. And she developed a model that we've been implementing for 5 years now. And it's the time, 5-year implementation is the time when you need to stop and look at like, okay, what's next? Did it make impact? Did it work? What worked? What didn't work? Where we need to improve? And then like, what is the sustainability plan, right? So this was like a perfect timing for us to step into this partnership. So They are not asking for any monetary investment through this partnership. It's all pro bono work, so no liabilities on either end. We're going to provide access to our data, internal data that we have for Lipscomb to take a look and see what they can make of it. We also agreed that we will provide opportunity for them to collect additional quantitative and qualitative data, which means they will probably convene focus groups with young people and try to collect more information from them for more in-depth analysis. All of that is going to be handled within their IRB approval, which is like their research approach and tools will be first approved by the University Internal Review Board. So we have talked through all the safety and security measures because these are minors and the permissions that they need to get from the parents and all of that. So the end goal is to have some reliable data from an external evaluator that tells you about the program, the initiative that we have been implementing, about its impact, about its potential, because youth leadership is not only for like leading projects or ideas, it's about developing that habit of being an active citizen. It's the habit of caring for the issues around you, engaging when you need to engage, but also many of you have heard me talk about the vision for holistic youth development is the holistic approach to youth development, where we are trying to teach young people all other skills that make them, ready for future workforce, future education, such as, communication and planning and teamwork, decision making. All of these things come with youth leadership because they actually work on community project. There's a service learning component. So we want to know what worked and what didn't, where we need to put more attention, and then we're going to use this data for sustaining this program. So the timeline for this project is between now and fall of 2026. As we know, research projects take time. So I'm asking for your approval to move on with this MOU. I've also worked with Metro Legal, Tessa helped review and provide some feedback. So we've been cleared through Metro Legal as well for this MOU. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yes, I already see that you have the timeline. I already start on page C17. Just our question, our curiosity within this program, are there any opportunities to team up with other organizations to make sure that this program is successful?
So we do work with NASA-funded programs who are in our network. So there have been at least 10, 12 nonprofits that worked with us on this project. We also worked with the Mayor's Youth Council, Oasis Center. So a number of community organizations have been involved in this.
Other questions?
This program was also mainly funded through IMLS, like 2 IMLS grants that we had. So those funds made it possible to actually invest in youth-led projects. So we put money behind the projects. There was like a school beautification project. There was like helping young mothers project. All of that was funded through us. So it's not only like training and getting them ready, but actually implementing a project.
So,
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you have the floor. Keep going.
so what happens after fall 2026?
So we need more funding for this. So the MLS grant is over. We don't have other funding source, so we had to downscale this project for this year. We're really like spending more time on research right now than implementation because we don't have money for implementation, because the model includes hiring high school youth and pairing them with middle schoolers to kind of co-lead the projects, and we pay stipends to those high schoolers, and we don't have money right now to do that. So the big goal, long-term goal, is to raise more funding to support this initiative. But to do that, our previous success has been really heavily relied on data, high-quality data. When you can tell your story through your impact, that's been bringing in more money. So post 26, hoping to go for more funding. But to sustain our portion of work, I've requested, and Terry kindly agreed to add a part-time position for our Youth in Action coordinator, who was previously supported through grants. So at least we can keep her work going, because she's coaching the program sites on how to embed youth-led work in their current like NASA program. So we're at least trying to sustain half-time position now and then go for more funding after 26.
Perfect, thank you. Looking forward to see the data.
And you don't need to read the 50-something pages. It's mostly student handbook. It's only the first 9 pages that is the MOU.
Handbook and everything.
Yeah, which is
Katie?
great.
No,
It's super.
Anna answered the question in her answer to Charles.
Okay. And I had a question about, so we sure that the research is the property of Nashville Public Library and Metro government?
So according to the MOU, and Tessa, please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a property of both, because if it's a research product, like we own the data, but they own the research portion of it. So it's like their intellectual property, so they can share it as part of their research, their presentations or publications. That's what MOU says.
A comment?
Yeah, I agree with Anna. I made sure that Metro we would be able to use our data for our own purposes once a project is complete.
And I see that it has to go through their institutional review board, because they'll be dealing with human subjects. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I don't know, I would love to have if we approve this, I would love to have a little check-in, especially after it goes through that institutional review board, so you can tell.
Yes, I can come back maybe in a couple months whenever this is already in process and give you an update on how it's going.
You're not going to be able to, unless you get additional funding, you can't really do anything as far as actually getting the kids involved in doing stuff, right?
We can with the modified version of the model. Right now, because we don't have grant money to fund specific projects, we have kind of stopped the high school portion of it, but we're working. So Ellie, our Youth in Action coordinator, is actually training our partner program staff on how to create space and opportunity for young people to lead activities, so they can still work with middle schoolers, create that space, and through their NASA funding, regular city funding, all the programs have access to requesting funds for supplies and different things that they need for projects. So there is still an opportunity to do some of it without that high school portion, because we can't cover that, but still we're trying to coach our programs into more sustainable solution on how you continuously create that space within your existing NASA funded programming.
And these are just the kids that are in the NASA program otherwise,
Yes.
right?
Yes, sir.
But does every
Go ahead.
child in NASA doesn't participate?
No,
Right.
no. It needs to be like a site coordinator who commits to this, and then their group, whoever is interested. It's all interest-based.
Okay.
Like whoever, it's open to everyone who's in NASA programs, but it's not mandatory for everyone to participate. If you have an interest, if you want to learn more about these things, then you're welcome to participate.
I think Rosalind is next to be recognized.
Sure, thank you so much, and it's a wonderful program. My question is around partnerships. How are we co-branded? You mentioned other organizations that are part of the collaboration. How are we positioned in this MOU as a partner?
So the way NASA works, it's a network of so all of our communication and branding does say that NASA is, every time we talk about NASA, we say NASA is a partnership between the library and mayor's office, schools, and nonprofits. And then all of those organizations who are in network, they are already known as NASA partners, whether they're funded or affiliated, they are already recognized through our different communication pieces. So in the MOU, we address partners as part of this process, but we don't name them specifically because there are like about 40 organizations in the network, and they have different level of engagement with us.
And how many young people are actually involved now? And what's the most, if you had money, what would be your ideal?
So last year was our highest number of projects, 16 projects, and about 300 youth were involved in those. So 16 projects were implemented on very different topics. So could be working with unhoused people, providing food and essentials, could be young mothers, and all of these ideas come from youth. That's the beauty of these projects, that adults don't tell them what they need to do. It's like, okay, open up, talk about your community needs, your school needs, and then they come up with ideas and they budget what it's going to look like, and then they start implementing. And our role is really to support and coach. So 16 projects has been our maximum last year. This year we just have fewer sites because there is no funding, and for next year we're trying to build more training and opportunity for them to think how they use their existing funds to create that space, because not always you have to put like a ton of money. Some projects cost like $200, and as part of their NASA, organizations receive pretty big grants from us, somewhere from $30,000 to $300,000 each organization. So there is definitely an opportunity to create like a $300 little budget for a youth-led activity. So we're kind of in that phase when we're coaching them into thinking that way.
Thank you.
Sure.
So that I'm clear, and everybody's clear, is usually at a lot of universities, a doctoral student will elect to do a research project. At David Lipscomb, it's different. They have like groups they can be assigned to, or they can select from among topics that they do, and they will work together. You know, instead of just a sole doctoral candidate, this would be a group working, and this would be their dissertation. This study would be their dissertation. So it's a little bit different than we would normally.
But they have a faculty oversight all the time throughout the project.
They have faculty oversight. What did you say, Keith?
We've had this experience with Lipscomb before. They did a study, I don't know, 8-10 years ago or something like that. Muhammad was involved. I can't remember the lady that was involved. And they just wanted to understand how the foundation came into being, and talked to a bunch of us. So that was a really positive experience, I thought.
I just want to add one last thing. So this youth leadership work has put us at national, conferences and spaces where our youth traveled all over the country to speak at like large spaces to elected officials, including Department of Education and all of these people. They ended up in White House. Biden-Harris administration had a youth summit last year where we had a representative. So this work has been very, very meaningful and important. That's why I wanted to make sure that you hear about this, and whenever we can have more funds to support this is definitely a priority.
Do we have a motion regarding
I move
the
we
MOU?
approve the MOU.
Okay.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We have a unanimous vote there.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
this. We await the findings. That's exciting. All right, next on the agenda, Linda and Liz, the LL team.
All right, I got to leave, Joyce.
Okay, thank you
Sorry.
so much for coming. So begin bright. Keith, he wants to give you some materials you can read. You get homework.
Susan, I'm sorry about your report. I know it's gonna be good.
Give it to you up front if you want it. You want it?
She's got it for you.
You know, I like visual aids.
I'm sure I have some questions for Susan.
Okay. Linda and Liz.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. We are not going to hold you long. We just wanted to give you a brief update about Begin Bright. Before we do that, I want to publicly acknowledge Liz and her team because they have been working diligently. And people don't see the work behind the scenes. They don't see the number of meetings that we're in. Sometimes we're in 3 or 4 back-to-back meetings at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and I'll just say, hey, we should have just, spent the night. And sometimes it means moving some of our regular duties around, and she and I aren't able to really talk about our daily stuff until 7 o'clock at night or on a Sunday. But throughout the whole process, she's just been incredibly diligent and efficient, and you just handled it with grace. And so thank you so much for your passion and your dedication. And tomorrow is her 18th year for NPL. So thank you, Liz.
Wow, congratulations.
My hope is that at a later date, we will do something similar to what we have done with the steering committee. We brought in Bounce Back, that's the company that is creating our digital platform, and we also brought in Cynthia Osborne, who is over the PN3, the research work. So I'd like to set up a schedule for them to come in and talk directly to the NPL board so that you guys can get the same presentation, but I'd like to do that sort of toward like late summer, okay? But what I've done so far is I've created some folders for you that have some detailed information in the folders, okay? So in your folder, you're going to have a timeline. What I'd like to say about the timeline is view it as a living document because this is a new initiative. So we 9 times out of 10, we're going to run into some bumps in the road and we're going to have to pivot, but we will make every attempt to stay as close to the timeline as possible. You also have sort of the draft for some of the curriculum material that we're creating. We also created some handbills so that when you're out talking about Begin Bright, instead of carrying this packet along with you, we've created a handbill that you can just let people scan the QR code. Not last week, was it last week or week before last, I spoke at the Education Mixer. Thank you, Kate. And when I tell you that the people were coming out of the masses, like asking questions, and I had emails that night and text messages of people just really excited about Begin Bright and wanting to attach themselves to it. And sometimes it's a good partnership, and sometimes it's not exactly a good fit, but we have enough connections within the city where we know how to direct people who align best with what they're trying to do. But it was an absolutely wonderful experience, and people were just excited about the work and so encouraging, and so that was really wonderful. And then you also have a brochure in here. So I want you to keep this and read through it, so by the time we bring in the experts, you'll have plenty of questions, but if you have questions prior to that, feel free to send an email and we'll get the answer for you. And Liz I'm gonna pass these out while Liz kind of gives you an update just on the research portion and where we are with that, okay?
Thank you.
Can I add before you get going? Library staff has attended these Friends of Education meetings. They're quarterly, and they've come and been a participant because the library is part of the education initiative in town. But that's been really above and beyond. So they knew exactly how to present to this group and let them know about Begin Bright. Liz turned out to be COVID-stricken, so she wasn't there. But Linda did a wonderful job, and there are over 200 people there listening who are educators, board members, investors in quality schools in Nashville, And we need to do it again a year from now when Begin Bright is back in, you know, there's more data to tell the story. But thank you all.
Yes, I was so sorry I couldn't be there. I actually took that COVID test to prove that I could be there, and then so it goes. Yes, and yes, I think in our earlier meeting I said that today was my 18th anniversary, but it's actually tomorrow. And I just want everybody to know I was hired as a temporary grant-funded employee, and so here I am. So I'm going to talk a little bit. You have a lot of information in your folders about samples of the curriculum, some screenshots of the digital platform. I'm going to talk more specifically about our research partnership with the Prenatal to 3 Policy Impact Center at Peabody. They have been with us for a year or more as a thought partner. We have the opportunity, because we're doing something brand new, to collect really good data. And this is an opportunity that we've never had before when we've launched, at least in Bringing Books to Life, when we've launched something brand new, to be able to walk alongside a research team and design a rollout so that we can get really good, meaningful data that can not only prove that we're making the difference that we think we are and hope we are, but also to ensure that as we continue to implement it in a way that we continue to yield those good results. And so that's been really exciting. And so it's actually really appropriate. I feel like normally when I talk about this, I don't start with the research, and I should, because it's really working with Dr. Cynthia Osborne and her team, and working with them on all the, how are we going to do this, that really dictates what our rollout timeline looks like. So, what month is it? It's February. Last month, Dr. Osborne and her team,
March.
Yes.
This is March, not February.
In February, Dr. Osborne and her team presented their final evaluation plan to us. And so this, as I said, this dictates kind of how we're rolling out our little libraries for every child care center, our digital learning platform, our literacy coach that we're in the process of hiring, basically all these new services that Bringing Books to Life is going to be providing through Begin Bright. It all comes back to this timeline. So where Dr. Osborne and her team have landed is that we are going to have 2 research cohorts plus a pilot implementation cohort. We're going to start recruiting for our research cohorts now. We actually had an announcement in the last Bringing Books to Life newsletter to talk about the study that we called it Help Us, Help You, to find childcare centers who will be part of either our cohort 1 or cohort 2. We know, and actually they're supposed to send me something like today, with all the centers that are going to be considered for that research cohort, and then everybody else, I'm going to sift through them, and they will be eligible for our pilot implementation cohort. And our pilot implementation cohort will launch in late May. I know that sounds like not a great time. It's actually a great time for childcare centers. They tend to kind of wind down the school year in May, and then in the summer, they have a more flexible schedule. They go year-round. They serve many times the same children year-round. So we're really looking at taking advantage of that kind of downtime in their year to bring to them. They will get little libraries. So they'll get the bookcases. They'll get their initial set of books. They'll get a curriculum kit that's in process right now, and they will get access to the beta version of the Begin Bright learning platform. And the goal with this implementation is just to see, how are we doing? Are we throwing too much at you? Are we not throwing enough at you? What do you need? And they're really going to serve as those thought partners in how do we take this to all 400 childcare centers eventually and do it wisely, respectfully, and in a way that will yield us that impact that we want. So it's really about the quality of the experience. We're not looking at the impact on the students at those sites. We're looking at 10 to 20 sites. We'll probably do 10 to start and then try another 10. And teachers and parents from those sites will be pulled to do some focus groups throughout the year, just to kind of get that kind of qualitative information about how effective are we implementing. Are there other things that we can do? The recruitment for our research cohort should be done by June, and our first research cohort, which will have 11 sites in our implementation group and 11 sites in a control group, they will launch in August, which is the start of the school year. They will receive, 11 will receive little libraries, app access, curriculum kits. They'll get all of it. And they will also do some pre-test, and at the end of the year, in April, May, they will get post-tests, and then Dr. Osborne and her team will do some child-level assessments on pre-literacy skills as well. The cohort will be made up of current Bringing Books to Life partners and non-partners, so it'll be a nice mix of the two. And in the following August, so that would be August 2026, cohort 2 will launch, and it will be similar. They'll do 11 to 15 centers for implementation and control, and we'll have some preliminary results from the first cohort that fall of 2026. We'll have preliminary results from the second cohort in fall of 2027, and then we expect Dr. Osborne and her team to give us full results starting in like winter 2027, 2028. Let me look. They're also going to give us a report on the implementation cohort that will happen later this fall, probably by the end of this year. So that's kind of the research in a nutshell. Any questions about that?
I'm curious.
Yeah.
How do you go about selecting your sites?
For the research cohort?
Yes.
So Dr. Osborne and her team are looking at sites that are not too big and not too small. So there's a bunch of childcare centers that have like 200 children. They are very, very big. There's so many variables that they're not being considered. We have some childcare centers that are very, very small, and so they are also not being considered. We are not considering, and I'll preface this by saying, this doesn't mean that these sites are not going to begin Bright. They're just not going to be considered for their research. We're not going to study MNPS or Head Start, and that's because they get a lot of additional resources, and they also have a pretty structured curriculum, and so we made the decision not to include them in the research cohorts, but they're on the schedule for all the other services. Specifically, they're looking at childcare centers that have 1 3-year-old and 1 4-year-old classroom. That's the sweet spot for them. Yeah.
Any other questions? That's a great question. This is all very exciting. So glad to see everything going forward. It seems like going forward so fast to me.
Yes, and kind of to be determined on the research end is they're also going to do a study of wraparound services. So what does it look like when we have all of these additional supports, libraries, app access, curriculum guides, plus an instructional coach who can kind of work directly with teachers in classrooms and really take advantage of that experience. We think it'll amplify that impact, but we're waiting until we do this first part before we make plans for the second part. We also don't yet have our literacy coach on staff yet.
I
Soon,
saw your
hopefully.
smile. I think I don't know what's going through Katie's head. She's just smiling like this is the birth. She's the birth of the child. Anyway. Any other questions? Yeah. Thank you for your hard work, both of you. This is like, yes. And I know out there raising money to have all of this happen at some point. I would love to know how we're doing, but I don't know if you can share that.
Oh, yeah, we could share it. Do you want to share it? You can share the number.
You should. You have the most accurate.
Well,
or
if it's
maybe
down
Sean
to Penny,
does.
I'll turn it over to Sean to share.
Well, let's do the round.
Just to frame it for you, Rosalind, and everybody, our goal was to raise, our initial goal was to raise $20 million by November of this year, of 2025. We started in February of 2024. We ended up raising our initial 20 million inside 11 months. So at the very beginning of this year, we have raised the initial 20 million. As we've gotten into the project, we realized from questions that have come from this board and have come from lots of different places as we've put the program together, the need to reach everybody in Nashville, whether that child is in a licensed daycare center, an unlicensed daycare center, they're at a community center, they're at the Weaver Domestic Violence Center. I mean, children are all over the place where we can reach them. So we have raised the amount of money that we want. We've raised the goal. And, yeah, well, I mean, we're going to raise more money. We're going to continue raising money. So we're not going to stop with the initial of 20 million and say, okay, that's done. The plan all along has been that this program would have an endowment such that in one fell swoop, whether that take a year, 2 years, 3 years, what that one swoop is, that the money, we will have enough money in the corpus to continue this program, you know, as long for forever. And so that's kind of where we are at this stage in the game. Because we don't want it, it's too big to be going out every single year and trying to raise. We also don't want to be competing with the other programs that, when I say we now, I'm talking about the foundation, don't want to be competing with the funds that the foundation raises for NASA or the funds that the foundation raises for the puppet truck or any of the other great programs that happen in this library. So
thank you, because I wanted to clarify that I know there are people watching that might not have been familiar with the project. When you say we, the funds are being raised by the foundation. And not the library.
Even though there's more to do, so for that.
Isn't that, yes.
I don't get all the credit. I actually, this is all the back of the library. The fact that the library can bring this kind of excellence when you go into someone in Nashville and you have the power of the library behind you. I will also say that Sean's team with Elizabeth Sherrard are amazing at raising money. I'm not a fundraiser. I can talk, though.
And if I can be so bold, it's really exciting to be able to work on something and to be able to measure the impact and then to know that we get to keep doing it. And also, if we're not getting the impact that we want, that we have the ability to make changes. So that's been so rewarding and exciting. And also just to know that all of it isn't just something that we sat around and came up with in a boardroom. It really came from child care centers, their teachers, and the families that they serve, that these were things that they needed.
And a year-and-a-half long study that you did, you know what I mean? It comes out of that, which is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very informative. So next up is Susan.
Okay.
It's your turn, Susan.
Okay.
Oh, she has a lot of other things to talk about.
Yes.
It's all good.
It's a three-pronged presentation. And I did tell Keith I like visual aids, that's what I told him. So Terry asked me to give you an update on the capital projects. So I will do so. What you have, what I just passed out, it is the needs that have either been completed, so they may have been in process last fiscal year, but they were completed in this fiscal year. They're currently in process, or they're future projects. So that needs is little, almost $31 million. It's $30,842,000. What is on the left side is the available funding. So any funding that had previously done in the balance row forward, and any new money that we've gotten this fiscal year. So fiscal year 25. I'm not going to go through everything. I will highlight the courtyard. That is still in process. We had set aside previous funding, $5 million, so that's still there. The Johnson Control, Medicis Control upgrades, that was a huge non-public thing, but very public in that it helps keep our HVACs working. We are about 95% complete, and thankfully the boardroom is cool today. It could be hot, it could be cold. It's functioning, yay rah. Thanks, guys. We have replaced the air handling 1 and 2. That was when we were closed last year, but it finished up in this fiscal year. The main elevator cabs have all been upgraded. And in addition to that, we have the ADA panels, so that we have 4 staff that are deaf and hard of hearing. We have public that come in that are deaf and hard of hearing. We are the first institution in the state of Tennessee, at least that's what TKE told us, that have the ability for the ADA, if a person who cannot hear gets stuck, they can press the button, there's a camera in it, and they can take a prompt. So all of our elevator cabs
Wow.
do have that now, here at the main library, not everywhere else, but at the main library. And that was a chunk of money. We have set aside, we got new funding in this fiscal year. We've set aside $1.5 million. We hope that will be enough to replace the roof. The roof is now 25 years old. We have leaks in various places. We get TAMIS tickets. Oh, I see a leak in the ceiling. Can you come fix it? So we are going to, the scope of work is being done for that work, which will probably take place in the summer. We should not have to close for that. Yay. The heat exchanger, that was one reason why we were closed last fall. That has been done. We have decoupled from DES, so we have a closed loop system now. Hopefully it will be less gunky. Hopefully we'll have clean water. Hopefully it'll work the way it's supposed to, knock on wood. Popular materials, part of that funding that we got this fiscal year in the CPS, in the capital spending plan that was passed in November, December, will be a renovation of the lobby, the first floor lobby downstairs. However, I have put it on hold until we get this going. We don't need so many irons in the fire that we can't function.
It's not a money thing, I get it.
It's a timing thing.
I was like,
It's a
what does that have
capacity
to
thing
do-
at this
What does
point.
that have to do with the courtyard?
Yeah, it's a capacity thing. The VAV box replacements, we have 232 VAV boxes. Those are the little computers that are up in the ceiling that tell the air system when to come on and when to go off. So the scope of work for that is in process of getting all those changed. And I've set aside $1.5 million just in case. For example, if we need more money for the roof, there will be money to complete the roof. Anything else that happens to pop up, because it happens all the time. This is a 3 have started, so that's finishing up. I should have put Donaldson, that should be old Donaldson, not new Donaldson. That was finished up. We had to replace all the AC there. East, we just had to replace some of the windows. We wanted to replace all of them. The Historic Commission would not allow us to do it. So the worst that were leaking, that were causing issues at East, we were allowed to replace those, and that's what that money is for. As well as their elevator upgrades. Those are still in process. The work for the elevator cabs has been done. There was some behind-the-scenes work that had to be finished before the state inspector, and I think it had to do with fire codes that had to be done. My understanding is those are being done right now. So thank goodness. I know people have been complaining about those 2, Pruitt and East elevator cabs being down, but they should be back up shortly. What else?
May I ask a question?
Yes.
The old Donaldson. Are we still moving ahead with the plan of moving,
That will be a part of my update later on.
okay, I'll put it on Lelway.
Okay.
Way by.
I have, Green Hills may have to have a roof replacement. That may be rolled in to their renovation, but that money is set aside. Green Hills renovation, we have $3.4 million to do that. Hermitage, we have $4.3 million for that total renovation that's sitting there. That's also a capacity work. I'll update you on that in just a few minutes. Pruitt, we did a roof replacement. I don't know if you remember, but we had to do some more extensive roof replacement where the joist had come apart, and until they opened up the roof, we didn't know it. Until NES raises the light poles, the electric poles that are 10 feet from the building, they cannot finish the roof. So they've completed everything that they can. NES is not fast in their projects, so they are supposed to be raising those electric poles It's either 10 or 20 feet, I can't remember, so that you can then get scaffolding and get to the rest. They can't do it right now because the lines are too
NES
close.
about moving up on the list?
There is no moving up on NES's list, no. We are where we are. So it's in process, they're doing the scope of work. We have no idea when it's going to be scheduled. So we've completed all the roof repairs we can at Pruitt until such time is that last part that's next to the electric lines we can finish, so. And their elevator upgrades. But if you have any questions, I was just highlighting the big ones. There's plenty of little ones that are out there that we're in process too. So to give you an update on the courtyard first. So we are in the process of selecting artists. We have to have the artist in place before we can do the rest of the design for the courtyard. So the last couple of months, we've been in process. There's a committee picking the artist. It's been down to 2. It may be down to 1 now. But the next step is inviting that artist group in to take a look at the courtyard, take a look at Nashville, see if there's any design, finalize that design. Once that's done, then we can finalize the design for the rest of the courtyard. We are hoping that we will have shovels in the ground taking this place apart come summer. It should take anywhere from 8 to 10 months to finish it. And then hopefully by next summer, we'll have the courtyard back open to the public. Yay.
So the artist selection process is the same that you used, for example, at Donaldson? Because that was so successful, I mean, the way.
No, because the Art Commission has not been a part of this. So with working with GHP, who is the architects of record, they have a company, Jorge Arrieta's company has been helping us. We had, I believe it was 70 applicants that put in to want to. GHP, working with Jorge's group, got it down to the top 10. And from there, the committee that's working on picking the artists got it down to 3, and then now it's down to 2 and close to being 1. No. No. Both of the 2 finalists were out of California, so. Mhm. But one of them does like working with local artisans and local fabricators and that type of thing, so. We're excited. The work was dramatic, and we're just excited to see what, and then coming here and looking at the space and seeing how the library functions, see if they can get any more ideas to finalize the design. It's going to be exciting. Okay. And Katie can attest. So can Terry. So we have the capital funding for that. That's moving forward. Hadley Park. We have this in the last CSP, so the capital spending plan. We got $5 more to start the project. They are in the process, I believe, of trying to buy more property so that we can get the size building that is needed. That has not been finalized yet. But, so there's $6.9 million out there to start Hadley. We'll have to get the rest of it to finish it. But they're hoping to start design phase soon as they finalize the property acquisition. But because of that, Richland Park has been kind of put to the back because we couldn't have Hadley and Richland going at the same time. GS wants, and GS is General Services, wants to start the design development. We have about $1.6 million out there for design and development. But it hasn't gone anywhere just yet. I think they're at capacity as well. They've got several projects right now. So that's where we are on those 2 projects. They are the next on the list. They will be built at some point. But it looks like Hadley's going to go first because it has more funding. But we have no idea when it's going to start. But because of that, we decided, I'll go ahead and give you Old Donaldson because that is in the works. So the Old Donaldson, which will be the new NECAT studio, General Services secured Gresham Smith Architects. They are the architect of record. They have already started the design process. We've only got $499,000 out there for that. General Services, my understanding, has put money in the capital projects for this building. So what's going to happen is, right now, Limitless Libraries, the bookmobile is stationed out there because that was what was going to work best for getting the bookmobile in and out and doing that. Once we actually start renovations on that building and a build-out in addition to the building, we're not sure what's going to happen. Unfortunately, with the bookmobile, we'll work it out. But what they're going to have to do is put money in. Hopefully, it'll be approved. Normally, the CSP doesn't come around until November or December, so the earliest anything could be done would be probably early next calendar year. But until we get the funding, there's not a whole lot we can do there, but it is in design right now. Okay. Green Hills. Because Hadley is supposed to be the first one to be built, we decided to go with Green Hills first because we could not have Green Hills and Richland Park down at the same time. So Barge is the architect of record. They were chosen. They are working on design. They are working on getting the community. We want to do new community meetings. The last community meetings that were held there were in 2019. Things have changed since then, so we want to make sure we're still on the right track, that knowing what the community wants. So those should be scheduled sometime, I believe, in April or May. I think it's supposed to be April.
Like next month?
Yeah. So they're booking it.
And just to be clear, so Hadley is on hold.
Hadley is not on hold. They're working on procuring property.
Okay, okay.
More property adjacent to that,
Okay.
to the current property.
Okay, just want to make sure, okay.
Is that property from Parks?
No, it is not. So until that is done, we
Church,
cannot
is that
move
the-
forward.
Is that the
But-
church's property? Okay.
Yep.
Temples has a program up there. Is it Temple? I can't remember. I think it's Temple.
So we are moving forward. We are starting the design phase of that. We're hoping that renovations will actually start, I believe, in September, October of this year. They should take 8 months. We're hoping to have Green Hills done and back open by June of 2026. We will have to close.
Well, I'm assuming that we'll still go through the same process with Hadley that we went through at Green Hills in terms of community participation in looking at that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll write that into the documents. And then last but not least is the Hermitage branch. We didn't want to have two branches down, and especially two regionals down at the same time, even though they're on separate parts of the city. However, we know that design usually takes at least 6 months. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. So as soon as Green Hills goes down, we will then come up with the scope of work and start to procure an architect for Hermitage, so that once Green Hills is done, hopefully Hermitage can go down pretty quick thereafter.
Break it down process.
So that's where we are with the large projects right now. Does anybody have any
Juggling a
questions?
lot.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't look like you're that busy, Susan.
I could see all the balls in the
So
air.
Terry wanted me to update you. Apparently y'all have had some questions about our funding.
Well, there was a question about the Institute. We know there's a lot going on
Yes.
in the country, and there was a question to say, did we get funding from the Institute of Museum and Library Services?
So I thought I would update you on that
Okay.
while y'all are sitting here. There you go.
And the other thing I was going to add is last year, I guess, well, in 2024, Susan and Joyce and I met with Councilmember Stiles because at that time she was chair of the committee, and she was just really impressed because she said a lot of times departments will get the money to do these projects, but she was just so impressed with where we were with actually being able to spend it.
Well, I've got a lot of partners and some great help, so I'm very proud of my team. So just to let you know, from all funding sources, this does not include the NPLF funding that doesn't come to NPL, nor does it have the special revenue fund. So this is really the capital and operating only, okay? So we've got a $46 million budget from the city, and that's all city funding. We have 4% funding. We got, and this is all this fiscal year, so fiscal year '25.
Explain to the folks who are new what 4% funding is. I know that's hard, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
4% funding is in Metro Code. It is 4% of property taxes that are set aside for capital operating needs. And capital operating is like replacing your fleet, replacing your computers, replacing apparently our books, and that type of thing. Or if you have major needs that are not a part of your capital budget, a lot of times we'll get maintenance money out of 4% to help maintain our buildings. But that's what that is. It's 4% of property taxes that are set aside for capital needs. Questions? Okay. So we received $2 million back in December. That was our first allocation. On tonight's agenda is another 2.5, so that would give us 4.4 million in 4% funding this year for materials, books and materials. In capital funding, the CSP, or the capital spending plan that was approved in December, gave us the $5 million additional for Hadley Park to start that project. It won't finish it. We'll have to get more funding. Excuse me. And we got $3.4 million for facility repairs and maintenance. So I've told you what those fundings are for. Our fiscal '25 grants, we have a grant, $5,000 from an adult changing table. That's for Bordeaux specifically. That is all state funding. The Deaf and Hard of Hearing grant, that's an annual grant we normally get. That is also 100% state funding. That's $88,000. We get a library services grant. That's for materials for the library system. That's $420,500. That is 100% state funding. The only federal money that we have right now is $10,000 that we get along with the library services money. That's for materials for the disadvantaged. A lot of times we'll do large print, that kind of thing for people who can't see or whatever. That's $10,000. That's the only federal funding we have right now. And then we have the NPL grant positions that are funded by the foundation. That's private funding. That's not federal funding. So total funding from all the sources, except those that are specifically excluded, it's $60,808,000. So that's a lot of money that we get. And and most of that, 99%, 98% is from the city. So.
Is the 10,000 federal in danger at all?
Pardon?
Is the 10,000 federal in danger?
I can't answer that question.
Okay.
I do not know. I know that legal is looking at all grants that we do to make sure our language is not out of line with federal policies. I believe that's the correct way to say that. We do have a grant person on staff now that is actively looking for more grants. So we're cognizant of the rules that seem to be changing daily. So we don't know if it's in doubt or not. So
Pretty great that it's only 10.
Sean?
I'll just mention, through the foundation, since 2019, we have received just, so that's not, that's not reflected here because that's coming directly to the foundation, and over 600,000 of that was for NASA. When you reference back to Anna's presentation and saying we need more funding, right now, it's a big concern in the sense of being able to continue to support through the kind of the extra support, because 600,000 of that over the last couple of years has been NASA, and then it's also support. The Deaf and Hard of Hearing program received $220. So the library will be affected by the IMLS if that's not reflected money that has historically gone directly to the library.
to that regard?
Great question. There's a meeting this afternoon around the messaging in terms of what really, and this would even be coming from kind of nationwide libraries, ALA, and so after the meeting, I'll know more today, just about the advocacy messages, and that's something that the foundation can kind of help try to get engaged and spearhead. So more to come on that, hopefully soon. Kind of as Susan was saying, the ever-changing, it's hard to keep up with kind of what the latest is, but that's where it's great to be a part of a larger system who can help us figure out the right messaging for this.
Because the advocacy that the foundation's done to date, would you describe that as local?
It's all local.
And so this would be very new.
And the American Libraries Association they've definitely rallied, and they're getting everything ready to, to put out if they, because we get updates as members of American Library Association, so they're on top of this as well.
I don't know how we do this, but anything is an opportunity. Melinda Gates will be at Belmont on April 16th.
What's she gonna do?
She's gonna talk about her book.
Okay.
So does anybody have any questions?
That was on my mind was I want to say it's 2 years ago, that the state had money for security, but you had to say why you wanted it and apply for it. And I know we use ours for locks on doors. The locks are, they're huge. So if you get stuck in a room in terms of a shooter or anything like that, the person in charge of the teacher could lock that room so nobody could get in. Do you know of anything like that?
Not that I'm aware, no.
Well, I do know that the state has multiple grants dealing with, when you say security, it's not just from a physical standpoint, but it's also from a cybersecurity standpoint as well. So I believe there are some opportunities in those areas that we could probably benefit from that you might want to communicate to your grant writer about.
Cybersecurity and the physical security of doors.
Yeah, like.
And I think that enough universities have gotten the money all over that we wouldn't have to start from scratch. We could
Were
tell you.
those school-specific? Were they school-specific?
No, they were for universities. I'm just wondering, did they have any left? And what are they doing? But we could check. We could find out easy.
And definitely, again, when you're talking about security too, words like firewall or routers and things of that type of nature, which costs a lot of money.
Which all of ours have to go through Metro ITS, so
Yes.
they may be looking for those type of funding.
But your grant writer could work with Metro to probably potentially get those opportunities of funding for that.
So the Armor Corps, the reference to Armor Corps, can you articulate what the objective is in installing that and how deeply or widely it'll be installed?
So for the Armor Corps, after the Bordeaux incident, the shooting at Bordeaux, we went to Bordeaux specifically, and by we, Mark Crowder, the safety and security manager, myself, met with MNPD security gurus there. That's their job, is to help local facilities figure out, do you need an upgrade? What can be beneficial in an active shooter situation? Part of that was getting staff to more secure areas. So for example, if there's a staff door, we're putting Armor Corps on those staff doors so that they can go back there, somebody could not get in. It's not bulletproof, but it's bullet resistant. They are very specific to tell you it'll stop most things. There are some things it will never stop, depending on what someone has. But it's to help give those extra minutes, those extra seconds if needed, to get away in the event of an active shooter situation. And the same thing with the tent. In some of our facilities, especially, for example, Bordeaux, when we renovated, we have more meeting rooms, but most of it is glass.
But more visibility. Yeah.
More visibility because we wanted more visibility, but then that becomes an issue in the event of an incident. So putting the tent, it's a solar type tent, but it's also bullet resistant, gives those folks time. And that's really, and most security people will tell you in an active shooter event, that is critical to give, even if it's 30 seconds, it can mean the difference between somebody being in the line of fire and somebody not. So that's the purpose of doing that. We have gone to every branch that the library maintains. General Services is supposed to be working with MMPD for those facilities that they service.
So I just want to thank the staff. This has been a tremendous meeting. You know, we see programs, but there's so much that goes on behind the scenes to make all of this happen. And I was never more proud when at the Peace Summit, the library hosted the Peace Summit that happened here with Fisk, Belmont, and the University with the Queen's Belfast. And the Lord Mayor of Belfast was here, all the people, the mayor was here, all the people who were involved in sister cities were here, and they were just amazed. We had the reception on the second floor, so they went to the Civil Rights Room, they went to the Votes for Women room, they went to the, Terry had the children's room opened up. They were just floored. They were just floored. It was just amazing, and we had a lot of staff here to, tell people what was going on in the rooms. But as I said, there's so much behind the scenes that makes all of this happen. And they're trying to figure out how in Queens they replicate some of what happens in Nashville. So it was just a very proud moment, I think, for all of the people in the city, not just me. I think the mayor was he was so proud, to talk about what happened in his city. So thank you all so much for whatever you do, because it's the programming, it's the people, but I mean, Susan, you're doing such a tremendous job. It's all behind the scenes, and I know people, you all are standing there with the cameras, you make all this happen, so thank you. Any other comments?
I just wanted to thank Kyle for the notes that you wrote about the security and, the challenges that the staff deal with in terms of people in the library. That gives us a sense of what's going on, and everybody's really listening, so thank you.
Well, we are going to have a safety and security summit for library staff in April and have special keynote speakers to help with some of those issues. So.
Awesome.
We know about it when it is, all that?
Sure. It's April 24th.
All day.
All day here.
We
at the
can
library.
send
We
that
didn't
out.
hear-
That's okay, April 24th, all day.
Okay.
I'll verify that, but it's in my brain. Because we've been working a lot on it.
Okay. If there's
Yeah.
nothing further, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Requires no second. Thank you. Thank you. We're adjourned. Go to the next meeting.